up? Bridget Bartlett here. I am the local business marketing, training, and support specialist with Builderall. Today we're going to talk about boxes. So why are boxes important and what can you do with boxes? There are so many cool things that you can do with boxes, and honestly, I still see other people using boxes in new, different ways that just literally blows my mind. So I just want to give you just an overview of some of the things that you can do with boxes and how you can actually use them on your website. So before we begin, if you don't have a Builderall account now, you can click the link in the description and create one yourself. Today, we're inside the Cheetah Builder. On the right-hand side, you'll see that we have a menu. So there's 3 different tabs. You have the Add tab. So we have the ability to add panels and elements. I have 3 panels on my website now. A dark blue panel. I have a panel with this picture here, and then I have another dark blue panel here. So all of these things are elements that we can add to our website. So the thing we're going to talk about today is boxes. So I'm going to click here. You see we have many styles of boxes. We have some transparent, some different colors. You also have these boxes here that you can add text and graphics and buttons and all kinds of things too. The most popular box that I use is the transparent box. So that is this one. I'm just going to left click and drag it to my panel. So you see now I actually have a transparent box, but it has a purple border around the box. So that's basically a default just so that you can find it. Because if this was completely transparent, if I moved it to my page, I would not be able to find it. So let's left click in the box. And you see now we have some options. So with this box, before we start editing and designing and all of those things, you have the ability to save this box and add it to your personals tab here. And when you add things to the personals tab, you can actually reuse them on any website inside the Cheetah Builder. So that is so awesome to be able to do that. You can click here to edit the style of the box. So we have lots of options here. I'll go over those in just a second. You can click here to center the box on your page. You can actually click here to pin the box. So if you want to, you can manually stick it somewhere, or you can choose one of the borders of your website page to stick it to. And then when you stick it to or you fix it to that position, then when your page scrolls, for example, if you put it right here on the side, as your page scrolls, that will stay there. So that's a really good option for, you can add iframes to it, you can install a chat bot, you can do lots of things on this box because it's just going to float basically with the website. Something I like to do is sometimes I'll put pictures on the box and then you can put a link to it and there may be a video. So lots of cool things that you can do just with the ability to pin that box somewhere. So you can also duplicate the box. So all you need to do is click here and it'll duplicate it. You can hide the box. So a lot of times we create designs that maybe look great on desktop or great on mobile, but it doesn't look great on the other version, right? So a lot of times, you want to have a solution for that. So if you wanted to create a certain box for a mobile version, but it didn't look great on desktop, you could just hide this on desktop and then keep it active on mobile. So that hide function is really, really cool. If you hide something and you need to retrieve it, you can do that here. All you need to do is hover over the element that you've hidden, and then you can just click it to retrieve it. So now that we've talked about the sub menu for the box, on the right hand side, let's click edit element so that we get the options for the box. We can change the sizes. So if you want to change the width of the box, you can do that here. You can also change the height using the the left and right scroll bars. You can also use this, the up and down arrows, to get it exactly precise to the number that you're looking for. That's really helpful if you're trying to do multiple boxes that are the same size, or maybe you think, okay, when I install a chatbot on my website, I love it to be 500 by 600. That's the perfect size. So having the ability to adjust it visually like that, or with the numbers, that's really helpful. You can also adjust the minimum height, which is mostly relevant on mobile, because I'll show you that in just a second. So you could also adjust the maximum width on the tablet version. You can also adjust this manually. So if you left click in the box, you can actually just pull this corner here and then drag it like that. So that's also really helpful. You can change the background settings, so you can make this a solid color. Right now the color is actually white, but we can actually slide this bar here to adjust the opacity. So as I had to left click in it, but as I move the opacity, you see how it gets more white. So that's really cool too. And I really like this effect because sometimes you have a really dark image and you want your text to show up on it, but you just need that section to be white or black is usually what I do, and then I'll make it transparent depending on the image that I'm using. But having the ability to adjust the transparency and just make that section show up without completely blocking out the picture behind it, that's something that I use a lot. That's a really cool feature. So I'm just going to make this a little bit, I need to left click to make it do that. I'm just going to make that a little bit darker. So maybe here. You could also, if you have, and I always preach about having branded colors. So definitely go back and watch the video that I did on creating a branded color palette for your website, because you really need all of the colors to go together. And so what I always talk about is keeping the hex codes. So if you have a branded hex code that you want to use, you could just paste that there. And when you have the color exactly what you want, all you need to do is click here to add that color to your options here. And then it's real easy. If you want to use that color again, you can just click on it, and then whatever you're working with, whether it's a button or a box or a panel, you can just reuse that same color without having to look up the hex code and then paste it in there. Something else you can do is make your box a gradient color. So a gradient is simply two different colors. So you see that we have the two color option here. So you're going to make one side one color, and then you're going to make the other side another color. So if I click in this box here, you see it already wants to show you what the gradient looks like. So if I have one side that is red, I can also choose another gradient color and maybe make it blue. So you see how now the other side is blue. So that's also a really cool effect. You can add an image to your box if you want to add that. You can also click here to change the border. So I told you it defaults to purple, but what you can do is actually change this to 0, and then you'll have no border. Or maybe you want to make a really thick border. So maybe you want to change this to 10, and you can change the color. Let's go ahead and make it black. And then you want to change the shape. So we could actually choose this. Why is it not doing that? Okay, let me go ahead and change that to 10, and now it's changing. And then we will change this to like a darker color here, and you can again make it more transparent or not. You can change the border shape here. We'll just keep it. We'll say the double lines look good. We can also change the radius. So if you want to have rounded edges on your box, you can choose that here and see how it rounds off the corner. So you can make it different all the way around. You can make it the same all the way around. And then if you want to change it back to just being the straight corners, you just change it back to 0. So you can play around with that and get exactly the right size that you want to use. And you can also even make this a complete circle. So it's really completely customizable however you want to set that up. If you want to add a shadow to your box, you can simply, you could choose the color here. So We'll just make this. We'll have to offset the horizontal shadow. You see, as you move this here, that gets bigger. So the horizontal offset is going to go left or right. And then if you want to adjust the vertical offset, it's going to be basically up or down. Okay. So you can also adjust the blur radius by dragging this bar here, and that just makes it more blurry. This is the spread radius, so it'll just spread it out just a little bit more. So you can play with that and get the look that you're looking for. And you can also, of course, change the color, like I said. You could also add the shadow to the inside of your box. So if you like that effect, that really looks good on buttons as well. You can choose that option. And then if you decide just to reset the whole thing, you can click this clean here, and then it takes it all away. If you want to add a parallax effect to your button, all you need to do is click that there, or parallax effect to your box rather, and then you can choose the effect that you want to use, and then you can also choose the speed. You can actually create an animation, which this is a really cool effect as well. You can choose any of these animations here. Let's actually choose a, I like the one that slides in. So we'll say slide in to the right, and you see it shows you the animation, a preview of what it's going to look like here. So let's go ahead and set this to be a timed animation. So if we want this to animate in 5 seconds, then we can choose the time option and then choose 5 seconds here. If we wanted this to do the animation when it was visible to our website visitor, we could choose this option. If we wanted it to animate when they click the box, we could choose this, or hover over the box. We could choose this option. Let me make sure to refresh my screen so I can see your questions. I wish it just always popped up like that, but it doesn't always. I want to make sure that I can see. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's finish this part first. Okay, so we can choose the speed of the animation. So we can choose slow, slower, fast, or faster. I'll just keep it at slow. You can also check this box if you want it to just continuously loop the animation like that. We'll leave it at that for demonstration purposes because I'll show you live what it looks like. You can also add a tag to this box. You can adjust the layering. So if you wanted to, move this to another panel, or you wanted to put a button on top of it, and the button was actually behind it, you could work with the layering here to adjust that. And you could also save your element here to retrieve to the personals section. So let's go ahead and save, and then we'll view the live version, or at least the preview, so that we can see what that animation looks like. So now that we're in the live view, we should be able to see in 5 seconds. So there it was. Let's see. It didn't animate, so let me go back. And we'll go to preview again. And it should slide in 5 seconds. And it popped in. Let's choose a different animation because I don't know why that one is looking so different. Let's choose a more obvious animation. So let's go down to animations. And let's choose let's choose something really obnoxious. How about, oh yeah, that's a good one. All right, so we'll choose this animation here. And let's actually choose, we'll give it a different purpose. We'll say the click. So when we click on it now, it's going to bounce out left. Okay, so this is what it's supposed to look like. So let's go ahead and save. And we'll maybe preview the live version of the page. Okay, let's go preview and see if it does that. Oops. Preview. So as soon as we clicked it, you saw that bounced away. Let's go look at that again because that was really cool. So that's not what we want. We want to preview. And then if you click the box, see how it slides away? Now that is something really, really cool too, because you could have let's go back to the editor. You could have like a text on here and then create that animation and then say, click this box for a special promo code. And then when they click the box, it slides away to the left like that and then reveals the promo code. So lots of really cool creative ideas. And if you guys have, you do something really creative with boxes and animations, I would love for you to share them in the group so we could all share. I mean, such cool ideas with all of this functionality. Let's actually go to the mobile view. So I'm going to click here to go to the mobile view. And I want to show you some options for editing in the mobile view. So if you click here to go to edit element, you can either use this window that pops up for your edits, or you can click here to expand this panel. I just like the panel, so that's what I tend to use. Again, it's totally up to you. So I'm going to click in this box here. And the most important part when you're editing in the mobile view is the lateral spacing. That's probably going to be your most frequently used option in the mobile editing. So what you can do with the lateral spacing is create basically padding on the left or right of the element by using this option here. You can also create space on the top and space on the bottom. You can also adjust the layering here, and you have all of these same functions. Also in the box, you can add additional elements. So you can add a text. So we'll add some text elements here. Let's add another text here. And I have all of my global fonts in white, so that's why you can't see them here. And then let's see, let's go add a button. So we'll add a button. So one of the cool functions with boxes is you can actually add these elements here and then design them how you want to. And then no matter what device they're viewed on, they're going to stay together. A lot of times, when you're converting between different size screens or different monitors or devices, these can get out of order. But if you want to make sure that no matter what device they're viewed on, they're together, a box is a great way to do that. And when you go to the when you move this around, you see that it sticks together, right? So when you go to the mobile view, you now have the ability, you can also adjust the things in the box here. So if I wanted this button to be at the bottom, just like the desktop version, all I need to do is click the button, and then you see these arrows, you can move them up or down. So let's just move that box down. And then now I have the H1 title, H2 title, and then my button here with this box. But I can also adjust into the box. So let's go ahead and we're going to click to edit the box, because you see how this button is kind of hanging off of the end there. So I can actually adjust that with lateral spacing. I can click in the box. Let's go over here or I can click in the button, go to advanced, and there's where I'll see the lateral spacing for the button. So if I add more space to the bottom, you see how it stretches the box out, because I'm saying I want more space on the button. So to accommodate that, since it's inside the box, it knows that it needs to stretch out that box. Okay, so it's stretching out the box and the panel that it's on. So if I didn't want that button to be so wide, I can just adjust the left and right lateral spacing, and then it shrinks it down a little bit. So now you see already with just these quick edits, our mobile view is already looking a lot better. So if we wanted to add more space between the H2 title and our button, we could also add space at the top of the button to allow for that. Okay, so we could also do the same thing with these elements here. If I wanted to add more space in between the title H2 and the H1 title, I could just do that here. I could also add space at the bottom of my text and the button. And then if I wanted to add space here, because, that's a little bit close to the top, I would definitely want to move that down just a little bit. So now this looks a lot better than it did before. Okay, so lots of customization and options there. So now I'm going to go back to the desktop view, and of course, we want to save. And that's fine. And that is a majority of your options when it comes to boxes and editing them and customizing them for desktop and mobile view. So that's all I had for you guys today. Tomorrow, though, is our Friday live Q&A. So don't forget, we're going to do a Zoom meeting. So I will be sharing the link to the Zoom meeting in the group. But we're actually going to do it at a different time. So I'm hoping to be able to catch some of you who are not able to meet us at the 2 p.m. Eastern time like usual. So tomorrow, we're going to be meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? So I hope to see all of you there, and I will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go build it with Builderall. Have a great day. Bye.